the ground, some are strong in the air, some are more all-around players. So the more series we watch, the more we'll get a gauge on really what these team strategies are, who their star players are, where they're succeeding on the field, where their weaknesses are. You know, it'll be a learning experience for all of us. So we are excited to see that for sure.
All right. So for round four, after round three today, we're going to have Alt F4 versus Slushy's Kitchen. And then round five will be Grind Crusaders and Eclipse Esports. So I have a couple of questions. What was it like when you first started out playing Rocket League?
I'd like to say those were probably like my favorite days of Rocket League when like nothing mattered. I wasn't caring about rank. I wasn't caring about what Rocket League was as part of like my life. It was just a game I played for fun. And I think I knew when I started playing the fact that I was just addicted and didn't want to do anything else. I knew I was going to be playing it for a long time. So yeah, here I am like, gosh, 3 years later, and I'm still playing it all the time. So, I definitely envy these players being in a setting like this and getting to compete. It's something I definitely miss doing a lot.
If you had to say something to a new player, what would you like? What is the most optimistic kind of thing that you would give them to help them out with their gameplay?
Gosh, for anybody who wants to just get better, like time in the game is probably the biggest thing, just putting in practice in free play where you're just you the ball in an empty arena, putting in time in practice, training packs, and playing with your friends, finding people that you get along well with and trying to play ranked with them, doing things like that, just doing as much as you can to utilize different areas of your gameplay and grow as a player. I think doing all of that is super helpful.
Hmm. Practice does make perfect. I mean, Michael Phelps didn't win the Olympics in like one day.
Absolutely.
um, anyways, I really think that practicing and becoming more skilled on your uh, what you want to do and where you want to be using those specific boost packs that they have in the Rocket League arena. I think that if you really know how to manipulate them and make them towards where you could jump up and potentially hit a goal almost every single time.
Yeah, I think controlling the boost is super important. As we get further into this tournament, we're probably going to see that more, where players on a certain team will go to the opposite side of the field just to steal boost pads and basically drain the other team, and starve them of boosts. So that's definitely something to look out for in these later series.
That's the aggressive gameplay that we like to see.
Absolutely. It sounds like we are getting the players for I and Striking Vipers into the lobby now, and we will be getting that series underway very shortly. I mean, I saw a lot of exciting things in our first series, so it'll be hard to live up to the hype, I think, but I'm sure that I and Striking Vipers have some things to show us.
Hopefully. But I mean, you never should. I don't think I'm going to count them out for now. I think that it is going to be pretty aggressive gameplay as we want to see them. And I think they're going to try to show off their bling and see what they want to do here. But let's get into that gameplay, shouldn't we?
Yep, we'll be transitioning over here in just a moment. It sounds like we're getting our last couple players in. Any second now, we'll be switching over. It'll be round 3 of our round robin stage out of 5 separate stream matches. We kicked off with round 2 as our panel went just a bit over. So Equinox versus Les Leches, for those who missed, was our first series, and we'll be wrapping up with 3 more. The next one being I versus Striking Vipers.
All
Let's
right.
kick this series off. I versus
Yes.
Striking Vipers. The players are in, and we are underway with Striking Vipers on the orange half. Excuse me, and I on the blue. Game 1 of this best of 3 is underway.
Right now, minutes 4:30, 4 minutes and 30 seconds in, and they all have custom things on top of their cars. That is very interesting.
Yes, a lot of decorations. I like it.
So they're coming in, Kulak and I'm pretty sure Striking Vipers. It just seems like a pretty basic gameplay at the moment where they're trying to figure out where to put the ball and deciding how they want to mitigate the situation that they have with them. Preemy is seeming like he is the goalie of Striking Vipers team.
It does seem like that. We'll see if he continues that. You don't see that strategy a lot in Rocket League where one player hangs back, but if they can make it work and make this series a success for them, then by all means keep that strategy going.
It doesn't seem like I's being very having their own goalie, it seems like all three of them are going to go aggressively after that ball no matter what happens.
Yeah, for sure. And you see that strategy adopted a lot more. It'll just be which one can prevail. So far, no one really taking a stance here in this series. It's pretty
back and
even
forth
gameplay.
gameplay,
Yeah,
yes.
for
Yeah,
sure.
most definitely. Kulaka's has been aggressive, but we're not seeing like super aggressive gameplays. But the goalie situation seems to be working in Striking Viper's favor. Preemy, but missing that ball could give I an advantage by hitting it into their goal. If Preemy happens to be missing one round or happens to miss it, that could be a very big potential problem for Striking Vipers in the future.
Well, that was almost a big problem for I, as that one went off both posts, but Striking Vipers weren't able to put that one on target. Preemy going to be tasked with clearing this ball away up the right wall, and Mr. Moneyman going to follow this one and look for a touch, not able to find it though.
I gotta say, I do love his name, Mr. Moneyman. All right. They are being aggressive. Preemy hits that ball, but can I get it back towards Striking Viper's goal in an amount of time before Preemy gets it back into being a goalie?
I know you said you liked Mr. Moneyman's name, but the fact that we had a player named What, it just felt like we were living in Who's on First. Like, didn't know if you were asking me a question or talking about the player most of the time.
I know. That was where the play on words was.
Absolutely.
Um,
Now Levi working together with Jason as
in
the
the
demo
middle.
comes out.
Yeah. Does that mean that they restart in the middle?
They restart on their own side, so when a player hits an opposing player going full speed, they inflict a demolition, which blows up their car, and it gives like a 3-second timeout before they respawn on their own half. Or a 3-second timeout for the player who got blown up, I should say. So it can definitely be a great strategy to utilize if you want to like give yourself a temporary advantage, get rid of one of the players on the opposing team. Especially since Striking Vipers are employing the perma goalie strategy. If I can take that goalie out, if they can take Preem out, then they could definitely open up the goal for some easy shots.
It seems like Mr. Moneyman and Benny have been very aggressive with their gameplay, and it doesn't really seem like they need to have a third person up there, and the goalie strategy is working for them so far.
I think it is, yeah. The two of them have really kept up with the intensity of the 3 on I, and just as we said that, Caster Curse strikes again. I will hit first, 1-0 in game 1, just a minute remains. So Lee Lawson puts this shot on target.
Preemy missing blocking that ball, and he gets a goal, and a goal is struck on them, making I 1-0 with 1 minute remaining in this round.
Jason's going to back off and grab some boost, leaving this one for Kolak, or Kolick. It's Benny. Going to leave this one for Mr. Moneyman. Going to look for a solo play. Passes this one back.
Benny trying to bounce it off the wall back into I territory. It seems like Levy is staying backwards with Preemy, so that I think eventually Kulak is going to set up this ball for him to strike into Striking Viper's goal. Because Preemy keeps getting away from himself as a goalie, and if that keeps happening, it could be unfortunate in the future.
Yeah, definitely opening up the window of opportunity, but Mr. Moneyman might create one here as he puts this one downfield. Kolak going to make a nice clear. Preemy with no boost, able to make the clear and pass to his teammate. 10 seconds left. Striking Vipers need to strike now if they want to send this one to overtime. As no shot is found, Mr. Moneyman going to try and keep this one up. And no one's there to receive the pass. Unfortunate. And I will take game 1, 1-0.
Well, I haven't really seen much from the teams yet. I think that they might still be warming up in their gameplay and what they really want to do and how their aggression wants to be taken with each other. I think the standard goalie side is working pretty well for Striking Vipers, but maybe they might have to switch that up in this next game.
Yeah. Maybe we see Preemy come up on offense a bit, as they were doing a good job of keeping a good balance, the two players of Striking Vipers against the 3 of I on offense. They have created some good opportunities but did not find many shots on net. So we'll see if they keep the same strategy in game 2.
We have 5 minutes on the clock. Mr. Moneyman being very aggressive. Kulak coming in, bouncing it for Levi. Levi misses, going back to midfield, and there's no one at I's goal. What is... Mr. Moneyman had the opportunity for another goal on I, but they send it back.
Yeah, very close opportunity. He just got a little bit under the ball and sent that one over the crossbar. It does look like, from what we can see so far, Primi is back in net.
Primi bouncing it out of the way for an opportunity for I to get into the goal.
That was almost an opportunity for them. It looked like it was on target, but just barely touched away. I'm not sure if any of the striking Vipers would have made it back to make that save in time, but they won't be making saves here. They're looking for a shot of their own. 2 players commit, and this could be a counterattack for I as they send it up the left wall.
I is doing a great job of setting the ball up for each other, as we can see from their gameplay so far this round. It doesn't seem like Benny or Mr. Moneyman's has really set each other up for that opportunistic goal. As we can see, Primi rushing out for the ball. This could be a mistake, possibly. No. Benny comes back in, and it seems like they might do a 3-on-3 strategy, but Mr. Moneyman scoring a goal on I.
That was very nicely done, and it wouldn't have started if Primi hadn't played as aggressive. I wonder if striking Vipers are going to take note of that and realize that Primi could be a good asset on offense as well as defense, because in the times I've seen him leave net, he's done some good job on the ball.
He has done some pretty good jobs on that ball, and it seems that they are being very aggressive. They're pushing the ball up towards the net, but it doesn't seem like it is fully there sometimes, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They set each other up.
Oh my, what a touch from Kolak. It's almost a great opportunity for I to strike. Now striking Vipers. A bit of an awkward touch from Levi.
Right off the bat. Benny coming in, being as aggressive as he can be. Kulak trying to push the ball out, but misses it and flips over onto the ground. It seems like Mr. Moneyman is being somewhat of a goalie in I's goal so that they can set it up for each other and put it back into the breach.
This one sent back. This could be a good opportunity for I as they get a demo on the goalie. But now Mr. Moneyman going to turn this one right around, and there's no one back to defend for I. A 2-0 lead for striking Vipers in game 2.
They are being very aggressive this round and learning how to set it up for each other. I think that the goalie strategy could very well work.
I think so. Yeah, if I used a bit of those tactics themselves, I think these opportunities that striking Vipers have found have been when the goal is opened up a little bit or have no goalie back at all. Oh, and this might even be a third goal. Rattles off the post, and Jason going to clear this one away. Good defensive effort there from I as they need to find some offense finally. We're halfway through game 2.
Mr. Moneyman's coming in, but Benny scores a goal on I's side.
That was an absolute screamer from Benny, 98 kph. So he hit this one right off the bounce, flips in, and puts this one top right corner. A textbook shot from Benny Buttons.
Mr. Moneyman setting up that goal for Benny, pushing it in, and that was an excellent gameplay, if I do say so myself. Levy coming in, trying to be aggressive this round like they need to be. It seems that they might be falling a little bit behind. What do you think?
I think so. I don't want to say, oh, well, at this point, 4-goal lead, 2 minutes left. It really is looking pretty hopeless for I in game 2. What I was going to say is I don't think they should give this one up if you're I, but I would start thinking to the next game what you might want to change in terms of your strategy, like what's not working for you, where should you improve. I think on the defensive end for sure, they're leaving a lot of space for striking Vipers to sort of generate plays, and they might need to either be more aggressive, get in the face of striking Vipers more, or at least play someone back a bit more often to clean up on defense.
What I'm noticing here is that during in the midfield plays, they aren't really being aggressive towards that ball and pushing it out. They aren't really staying clumped together like we saw Equinox and Les Leches do last round. They are more staying further apart, trying to hit the ball towards each other. But if they were being a little bit more aggressive, it might be more in their favor. Benny taking the ball, bouncing it off the back. Primi staying in the goal like usual. Benny and Mr. Money playing it off of each other. Jason coming in trying to take that ball away from them, but the goal is completely open. And Mr. Moneyman's and Benny Button score a goal together. That'll be an assist for Mr. Moneyman and a goal for Benny as well, making that 5-0 with 1 minute and 12 seconds remaining.
I believe it was Jason who went for a demo in the midfield trying to stop the passer before he could get the pass off, but that was a very nice dodge to keep the play alive. And 5-0 at this point with 1 minute left. It would take a miracle for I to win this game. So I think we're going to be probably going to game 3 in this best of 3 series. Once again, down to the line. Striking Vipers are looking way more dominant than they did in game 1.
It's amazing. In game 1, what we really saw was nothing was very aggressive, but now it is all aggression and everyone is going for that ball on Striking Vipers team, and that has proved to be very, very helpful against I this round.
Yeah, if they can keep this play up in game 3, this series will easily go to Striking Vipers, but I wonder what it was in game 1 where I were finding like the advantage. I mean, a 1-0 victory means they held Striking Vipers completely scoreless for 5 minutes. So obviously whatever they were doing well there just isn't happening now. So they need to find that game 1 energy again.
They really do. Mr. Moneyman coming into midfield trying to get another hit onto the ball, but it doesn't seem like it's going to touch. There is 20 seconds remaining in this gameplay. I really needs to make a move or try to figure out how to be a little bit more aggressive in that midfield. Jason taking over Kulak, bringing it back to Striking Viper's side of the goal. Preemy coming in, knocking the ball out per usual as a normal goalie would do, and he is being aggressive, and I think he might move from the goal. But now we do have Striking Vipers as the winner of this round.
Yep, I don't think what really happened there at the end would matter too much, as Striking Vipers had that 6-goal lead, and they held it 6-0. An absolutely dominant performance from Moneyman and Benny Buttons, each finding 3 goals of their own, a double hat trick for Striking Vipers. Talk about a lot of shots as well, and 5 assists, so their offense is just clicking and working perfectly. They just need to keep that play up for one more game and take this series.
We'll see what happens, and if I can get everything together, like if they really can get their defense and offense down, then I think that they might have a better opportunity this time.
What do you think if you're like a player on I and you need to like the pep talk, or you need to like cheer up your teammates or get like the courage back in comms, what would you be saying to your teammates?
I'd be like, let's get it, boys. We can't do nothing more than this right now. We're going to have to go in, destroy them, and take everything that we want. We came here for a reason, and we need to prove that reason right here, right now.
I like the energy. I hope the comms are as energetic as that, as I are trying to take this one onto the Striking Vipers side, but now Mr. Moneyman of Striking Vipers is going to look for a shot of his own. Going to try and put this one on target, but Kolak's going to clear it away, as all 3 blue players are moving up to the 1 goalie of the Striking Vipers, but things fall apart just a bit. A team bump as well.
Seems to get a little bit behind him there. Benny coming in, pushing it off the tops, trying to set it up for Mr. Moneyman. This doesn't seem to work out, but comes in and blocks it. Benny back out, almost looking like it might be a goal.
It is Mr. Moneyman there to finish it off. The insurance. That's a very nice touch up the wall by Benny, even going up on the ceiling. He might have thought about following that one, but Kolak save is ruined by the touch of Mr. Moneyman.
Mr. Moneyman's really been putting it into the goal this round. I think last round the stats were that he had about 3 goals, and Benny really sets him up every single time. We see Preemy going back to their goal to play defense per usual, and it's a very good strategy working out for them at the moment. There's a bit of fumble in left field. Kulak coming in, trying to block that ball, but the goal is still open. It has been open this whole, what seems like this whole round.
Yeah, I feel like the I players just aren't completing their rotations usually when you go up on offense, and a second goal coming out for Mr. Moneyman, 2-0 Striking Vipers, but when you are rotating back from offense, you usually rotate all the way back to net to play goalie if you're keeping positions loose like that. But it looks like I are mostly focusing on offense and leaving defense totally forgotten. And we see where that's gotten them, an 8-0 goal deficit for games 2 and 3 so far, as I have not scored a goal since their sole goal in game 1. Can they find some goals later in this game? They will need to if they want to win the series.
Possibly.
But wow, a very close opportunity there for Mr. Moneyman.
It was almost right off the tip. Mr. Moneyman's trying to set it up and block Levi from coming in. But then we see Benny come, and it bounces off the top of the wall. Coming in, Preemy might come in and block that. And they're setting it up. And Levi, it is a bit of a fumble in midfield right now.
Yeah, it's kind of chaotic right now and almost a touch back towards his own net. Levi sends this one back and Kolak on the attack now. Gonna try and find a 50 against the defender. As Preemy has come out of net, Mr. Moneyman and Benny looking to start an attack.
Do you think that we're ever going to see Preemy come off of that net fully and actually play out the offensive side of this?
If this game was going the opposite way, I'd say probably yes. I think at some point, if you're behind, the goalie does really need to come up and play some offense in a desperation play. But if Striking Vipers are comfortable with this lead and if they keep playing as well as they have, if Mr. Moneyman and Benny are continuing to dominate on offense, then I really don't see any reason for Preemy to leave net and, you know, continuing to be their insurance on defense.
Most definitely. Kulak trying to find a way around Preemy, but Preemy says, oh no, and moves the ball back out. But the goal is not defended. Again, Mr. Moneyman scoring another, making it 3-0 at 2 minutes left in the round.
He just made Jason look bad there. Nice couple of touches put together. Mr. Moneyman does it all himself. Preemy finding the assist as well. 2 minutes left. I are feeling the pressure now. They need to find goals, and they need to find them quickly. As things start off here in the I half.
They should probably back off a little bit and see if anybody could stay back and defend their goal. But it is still wide open, Benny, for another point.
I think they were trying to follow your advice there. They were keeping Jason back, but it looks like he turned towards the ball right there and just gave an opening to Benny. Momentum will not shift. Striking Vipers are here all day, putting goals in the back of the net. 4-0.
It is all about seeing that opening, and it really does seem like Striking Vipers is finding it. Levy coming in, trying to be aggressive as he can be, but there are 3 Striking Vipers sitting at the goal, and there is no one from I coming in to help him. Benny pushing it back out, and Kulak is there to defend it from going back into the goal, but they seem to be trying to push it back towards Striking Viper's side, but it is 4-0, and there's a minute left in the half, and Mr. Moneyman's there again, and it is now 5-0.
Yep, at this point, I don't know. I don't want to say it's over, but it does look over. 1 minute, 17 seconds is not a lot of time to make up that deficit that the Striking Vipers have created, as they have struck a lot in these past 2 games, and I have had nothing to say about it. Only finding their 1 goal of the series in game 1. I mean, I thought at some point the offense would return, and maybe it will near the end of this game, but so far it's just looked hopeless.
I did too, but as we saw from the first half, Mr. Moneyman's again with another goal. It is now 6-0. When we saw in the first half, like the first round that they played out of the 3, there wasn't very much aggression between either of the teams, and I think that is very noticeable now with I and Striking Vipers taking up a little bit more of that aggression after losing the first round.
Absolutely. I think really what set them apart here, almost a 7th goal going in for Benny Buttons. What set them apart is, I think, Striking Vipers' ability to really work as a team as opposed to I. We're seeing Benny and Moneyman work together so well. Almost all their goals have been one passing to the other or one starting a play. Almost the first goal for I. Can they find the shot? No.
It is keep bouncing off of the top of the goal, and it is almost in every single time, but it just seems to miss.
Every single time it has, and almost the 7th. Benny Buttons trying to find an attack here, but it doesn't really matter at this point. 20 seconds left, merely a formality, as Striking Vipers have put on a show for us in games 2 and 3 of this round robin series.
Will Mr. Moneyman and Benny Buttons trying to get another goal to make it to 7-0 in the next 3 seconds? It is possible. They have done it before.
They have, but it looks like it won't happen here in game 3. Striking Vipers Man, what a team that we have seen come out in these games 2 and 3, and I think they will be having some success later on in this bracket. I mean, after that first game, I was thinking this was going to be a close series. It was a very good showing from I initially, and I think that Striking Vipers, they just realized something needed to change after game one. I don't know if it was the aggression or the speed or the passing or all of the above, but all of that came together after that first game.
It really did. What we were seeing in the beginning of it wasn't really collective effort from any of the teams. It just seemed to be like a fumbling in midfield, and they didn't really know who or where what team was going to take dominance. And then Striking Vipers did come in and said, I want that dominance, and took over the rest of the game, making sometimes 6-0
Yeah.
in the rounds.
6-0 and what was it, 7-0 or 8-0 the second game?
I
Something like that. It's
It
all a
was a
blur.
lot of numbers,
Yeah,
I got to say.
it all ran together eventually. It was just goal after goal, no stop in sight for Striking Vipers. I feel bad. Those I players just every opportunity they had to start turning it around, it was either saved away or some little mistake happened. And I mean, that can be the difference maker in these games. Like small mistakes or small little advantages found by one team can really set them apart. And I think that's what set Striking Vipers apart. They worked together as a team. They found their pass plays, Preety working on defense, and Moneyman and
Moneyman and Buttons.
Buttons, thank you,
Yeah.
working together on
Benny Buttons.
offense. Uh, they were just the perfect combination, and it made the series work. So, easy
I
series for
wonder
them.
if we're really going to see like more gameplay from Striking Vipers with the goalie staying behind. It might be a different kind of way to play.
Yeah.
As you could see, it's kind of playing like typical soccer, but with 3 people.
Yeah, I think they were kind of doing like a positional approach, whereas in Rocket League, usually the strategy you see employed is a rotation of positions, so no one's ever permanently on offense or defense. You're always moving upfield, moving back, playing defense, playing offense. So I think that strategy of keeping the goalie back is very effective in situations against like maybe similar skill or even lower skill opponents. But once they get further in this bracket, they start running into the teams that are aerialing a lot and doing a lot more mechanics. They might need to employ a three-person attack. Like Preety staying on defense is going to leave his two teammates to do all the work, and I don't know if that's going to work forever. We'll just have to see.
It seems like if Striking Vipers were to play a team like Les Leches, they would really need to up their defense and offense, because Les Leches sticks together in groups of 3 and Striking Vipers only sticks in groups of 2, and they could really dominate and try to move away that ball from the team itself. I think one of the saddest gameplays that we saw that round was when they finally implemented going back for defense, and Jason barely missed the ball
Yeah,
as Mr. Moneyman struck it in.
it's
the
like
goal.
he did everything right. He switched up the strategy that should have worked, but he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And sometimes the shots are just too fast to save. So with the dominance we saw from Striking Vipers, I can't even blame him. It was just very good play coming out from them. And
It
speaking of
was.
good play, we have more coming up after this. Our round 4 round robin stream, the third of the 4 we'll be showing here, will be Alt F4 versus Slushy's Kitchen. Curious to see what these two teams are bringing to the table.
I am too. What does Alt F4 mean?
Well, you see, you should go home and turn on your computer. Nobody on stream listen to this, and you should try pressing that and just find out yourself, I think.
Yeah, I think it might be a great idea to implement it. I think I've done it one time. What does it do exactly?
Something interesting.
Something interesting.
Yeah.
Uh, um,
Austin in production, please don't do that. Now is not a good time.
no, not a good time at all. We apologize.
Yeah.
If you are watching from a mobile device, then you are saved.
Yep.
I don't think there's any alt keys on iPhone.
But let's see. Alt F4, that name does sound familiar. I think in 2020 there was an OKCPAL event with a team with that name, so I'm curious to see if they'll have the same roster. I don't recall who it was myself, but if they keep up the play they were showing there, I believe they did fairly well in that tournament. So I'm curious to see what that brings us in our next series.
I am very interested in this next gameplay, because we've seen different strategies, different defenses, offenses, all different sort of things that you might not find in different kinds of gameplay. But I wonder what Slushy's Kitchen could bring to the table, and I think that is a very unique name. It kind of reminds me of a slushy snow cone. I don't know about
Yes.
yourself.
And as the weather gets warmer here, I'm sure that'll sound a lot better, but I absolutely could go for one of those.
So you have been playing Rocket League for 3 years. What is the biggest gameplay that you could tell someone to do?
Depends on what level. If we're talking like new, like earlier, like those practice hours and things, but if you want to go into like more depth, um, I'd say obviously if you start the game with friends, I think it's a lot more fun. But if you start off on your own, then just like meeting people through the game and you know, getting together with people who you like get along well with, I think that's gonna help you out a lot.
Speaking of getting together, let's see how this game's going between Alt F4 and Slushy's Kitchen.
So we get the gameplay underway. We are into game one. Slushy's Kitchen on the orange side and Alt F4 on the blue.